Hey everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and guess what? I've got a fall look for you today with Natasha Denona. And do you want to know how I got this look? Well, I'm fixing to tell you. And hey, if you're not subscribed, be sure and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and the little like will help me grow just a little bit with the algorithms. And of course, you can throw out a hype or a share. Your choice, if you're willing, and if you're willing and you like what you see. But anyways, we're doing looks now for October that are going to be fall looks. And of course, that will probably include a little Halloween too. So be sure and stay tuned for all of that. These will be little clips here and there that I'm just going to slip in and make as one video. But for today, what I used for my look was my Natasha Denona bronze palette. This is a beautiful palette. It has lots of choices to pick from, and I decided to go with this sundown color right there in the center. That little orangey color right away. Then I went right down that row. I used that next, then I used that next. And then for my crease, I decided to pull over here and go to the rhodium color. And I went down and used the true bronze. So those are the 5 colors that I have on my eyes. And I did top it off with that true bronze on top. And of course, it's got the other color too in there, which is Bliss. So it's just a nice combination, and I went out in my corners with it. And again, this is just a beautiful palette, easy to work with. Oh yeah, very nice. Now, after I got that done, I did decide to use a purple eyeliner, which this is one of my, it's a long-lasting stay, and it's by Charmacy. And it is a liquid liner. The duochrome's already used up, but I still use the wet liner of the purple. And I just thought that would go real good with that purplish color in the corners. And I kind of went out, and you can see I've kind of got off a little bit over here. I don't know if I smudged it or what, but I did get a little off kilter. But you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. The next thing I use is I put on the Prime Lash Mascara. This is in the Mulberry. I love this color, but I use this for a base today to get the nutrients, because there's vitamins in this, and I'm telling you it works. My eyelashes are my eyelashes using the serum and their mascara and nothing else. I don't use a curler or nothing. These are my lashes. And then I got out my Tartelette, and this is the tubing mascara that I put on top. And I'm not going to go over it today because I don't want it to get clumpy. I think it looks just perfect, but this is what the wand looks like, and it's black. Okay, what did I do next? Well, I went and got my Fenty blush, and this here is in the Lollipoppy, because I thought with the oranges on that it would go good with this, and I believe it does. And I did use my Estée Lauder cream eyeliner, and I forgot to bring that in here, but it's Estée Lauder cream, and I've got it in my waterline and up above there. Now, after I put all that on, I sprayed my face, and I use my Mario highlighter, the Mario highlighter that I love, and that's what this looks like, and it's just beautiful. And I use my Estee Lauder setting spray, Perfecting Makeup Mist, it says, for my setting. Now on my lips, I don't know if y'all remember, but I bought the MAC Christmas pack of lips last year, and I might have got it after the new year when it was on sale. And it is such a cute little packet, and because it's orangey colors, and I don't normally use orange, I decided to open that up, and I have used it before when I'm using orange. Okay, but isn't that just cool packaging? And I pulled out my lip liner, and this is the one that I used, and it is in by MAC, It is More Curious is the color. So that's my liner, and as you can tell, it's kind of an orangey color. And then I don't necessarily like mattes all the time, so I got this gloss out. And isn't that a beautiful color? I'm freshening it up, but isn't that a gorgeous color? And if you like orangey reds, that's a beautiful color. And this color is the MAC A Little Curious A14. And it fits right back down in my little slot here, and I just kept this together. And then I got out the MAC lip gloss, which is Out of Curiosity, and this is a gorgeous lip gloss. And it all matches, and that was my look today for this fall look. And again, this was my MAC stack. I don't know, there's no name on it, but I just love the packaging, so I did not throw it away. I've got this sitting on my vanity. But that is my fall look for today. Be sure be on the lookout for the next ones. I did use my Skin Food. I got it on my teeth. I don't remember doing that from before, but yep. You put your finger in your mouth and pull out, and that'll help knock that out. But anyway, that was my look. I did use my BB Brow. That is my $1 billion eyebrow pencil that I really like. And I really like the Skin Food. It's almost out. I got it from Korea. And Skin Food is, I believe, the brand. So anyways, I really like this. And I've got a little bit left, and I'll be using that. But that's my look today. Let me know what you think. And be sure and use pumpkin emoji or a cat. So either one of those will work. But that's all I have today, and that's for the Jubilee if you're joining in with the gifting. And that's all I have for this look with Natasha Denona. Now, on to the next look. All right, we're on to the next look. And today I did not use an eye palette. That's right, I used all sticks of different kinds, and I'm going to tell you all about it. All right. And besides using sticks, I used different things on my face before I got started. And I'm going to show you a couple of them. I used, as my concealer underneath my eyes, I used my Jeffree Star concealer. I'm not sure what color that is. It says it's pale yellow. I don't know, it looks pretty creamy to me, but I used that as my primer. And then I also primed my face with the Rodial. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I used the Rodial Diamond. And guys, I read the box and it said it can be a primer. So I put 1 drop, and that's what it actually said, to use 2 drops. So anyways, I used a drop of that for my primer, and I have that on. And then I put on the Morphe. I haven't used this very often. This is the Light Form Morphe, and this is in the tan that I got from my BoxyCharm, and that is 16N. And I think it's an okay color. I didn't mix any colors. I just used this one. Y'all know I'm bad about that. And then I use my $1 billion brow on my brows to give them a little more color, and on the ends, as I always do. And then I decided I was going to do pencils for my eyes. So let me get them all out of here, because my eyeshadow today are all sticks. And I don't know that I even got it even on this one side. I think I got it smudged over there, but anyway, we'll go with it anyways. But what did I use first? That part I don't remember. I did highlight with the $1 billion brow, and you can see I've got my line going right underneath my brow. And I used this as the color that you see on my lids right through there. And this was the $1 billion brow. I got this out of QVC. It's concealer and highlighter, so it's a duo pencil. I like that. Then I used the Thrive, And I used the Thrive kind of as an eyeliner, where I would put this on the inside like I would do my Estee Lauder, and in the waterline a little bit. Okay, anyway, so I put that in here for brightening and on each side. So I got that in there for this. And then for my color that you see in my crease, I use this, and I brought it on down on both sides. And I don't know, this color here is called Stella, and I'm not sure what this one's called. It's an Hourglass Voyeur, and I don't know if that's supposed to be the color. It says eyeshadow stick, and I guess it's in Voyeur, so it's kind of like a brown, goldy brown, and I've got that in my crease. And I got these both out of FabFitFun. Then I use my Charlotte Tilbury, and this is on my lid, this here, and this is a champagne color by Charlotte Tilbury. Champagne Diamonds is what she calls that. I need to sharpen it. Some of these you have to sharpen, they don't twist. And then I use this in the corners. So this is the dark that's in the corners, and maybe missing a little bit on that one side there. Maybe I kind of got it, because I come on down with it. So I got that in the very edges. And this color is Charlotte Tilbury Chameleon, and it's golden quartz. And then I use this as my eyeliner, and this is also out of the BoxyCharm, and it was in the icon box, and it's the Kulfi, I think that's how you say that, and it's kind of a rosy bronze color, so it kind of fit in with this look. And then for my liner on my lips, I went with the Anastasia, which I also got from BoxyCharm, and it's a brown, and I've actually ended up liking this a lot more than I thought I would. And I use an Estee Lauder, and this is 564 in Crystal Baby, and it's a real pretty color. I use that as a base. And then I came across a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, and this is her Airbrush Liquid Matte lipstick, and it is in Pillow Talk Blur. Guys, this lipstick is my favorite liquid lipstick. I usually don't ever like them, but when you put this one on, it is smooth and it is creamy. It doesn't dry out your lips. It feels good, and I really like it a lot, and I wanted to show that to you. I know I've opened this up before, but I found it in the box, so it kind of got pushed aside, and I brought it up. And then I did use the Naked Sunday today with the SPF 50 as a lip gloss. And this smells like watermelon, and it tastes like watermelon. And it's a lip oil. And I don't even know that I need it on top of that Charlotte Tilbury. And then I sprayed my face with my Estee Lauder makeup mist. And then I applied, before I did all that, I used the Fenty. And this is the Sundress Season. And this is a peachy color. And I like it. And I used it, and it goes on really well. It's got a nice peachy color. I didn't do any bronzing or anything this time, or whatever, the contouring. I didn't do any of that today. My overall powder that I used was the Banana Setting Powder by Bella Pierre. And then, after I got all that on, and after I spritzed my face with the Estee Lauder, then I used the Mario. And guys, I've just been loving this. I did use this as my powder brush with this Bella Pierre Banana. And it's really nice. This brush is really soft. And it just does a good job feels good and it has good coverage. So that worked out great too. So I'm using all my new stuff, and I wanted to show y'all a look. This has got a cheap way to put the lid on, I'll just say that. I always have trouble with it. Wants to screw sideways, but it's a good powder. So anyways, got all that on my face. Used all these pencils, and I've never used this many different ones, and I used Charlotte Tilbury, Hourglass, and Thrive, so it's a combination all together, even with the BBB, Billion Dollar Brow Concealer Highlight. So anyways, that's my look today, and I just thought I'd share it with you, because I certainly don't do this look very often. I was very impressed that this was used as that it can be used as a primer, and it is an oil, and it works good. It gives that nice little glow all over, so I really liked it. And the Morphe foundation is not bad either, so you know, overall I liked it. And you let me know what you think about this stick eyeshadow look. And now on to the next one. Okay, we're on to the next look, and yes, I've got on another Tartelette eyeshadow palette. I went ahead and did the Tartelette for the creme brulee. Oh yeah, oh I wish I could have some creme brulee. That'd be so good right now, and I would eat it all up in half seconds. Oh, I love that. It's one of my favorite desserts of all time. Alright, well, I did use the little Tartelette palette. You can get this now on sale at Macy's for $50 for that dual pack, 2 eyeshadow packs, 2 mascaras, and 2 lippies. They've got a 15% off, and it's $50 right now. So you might want to run over there and check it out. Of course, by the time this comes out at the end of October, might be gone, but you know, be on the lookout. They're going to have sales. We're getting close to Christmas, and they're just going to start popping up things. But this is the Creme Brulee Tartelette eyeshadow palette, and I used all the colors. Yes, I did. I started off, of course, with the lightest color. This one right here. I did that all over my eyes, top and bottom. Then I went over it with this other light color. And then I put this on top of my lid, as well as some of this right here, as well as coming back and putting some of that light on again. So I kind of did that on the lids. And then I went in with this on my crease, and after I got that blended in, I came across it with that shiny color, and I blended that in there on both sides. Looks like I got a big blob of brown right there. I wonder if that's a scar. Let me look. That just might be my face discoloration. Oh my goodness. I must have been out in the sun too much one day this week. Well, anyways, and then I've got this darker brown in the corners. So, and I even took that darker brown down below as an eyeliner. And I did use another eyeliner. I got out my green with a peel, and this is a gel liner. It's forest green, and I put that along with that brown, and then just a touch of it on top. I didn't do too much on top. I did use my Estée Lauder liner that has the cream color on the insides of my waterline. I don't think I brought that in here, but I used the Man Eater Tartelette tubing mascara today, and I think it did great. So I like this mascara. It does really good. It's got a good brush on it, and it really lifts those eyelashes up. So I like that. I forgot to tell you what I did prior to my face. I did use this as a primer. This is Numi Wild Blue Day and Night facial oil that you can use at night when you're sleeping and or day, but it's also used as a primer. So I used this as my primer. I don't know if y'all remember, I received this free from Numi, as well as their moisturizer that goes with it, and I'm telling you, it was their all-in-one serum moisturizer. That stuff is fantastic, and this is good too. It takes a lot longer to use this blueberry oil, but I use that other one all up, and I would highly recommend it, and I would even buy it myself whenever I need a moisturizer. I just got too many to buy another. But anyways, use that, and then I did use the First Aid eye cream. It's the retinol cream, and I actually put it all over my eyes. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I did today. And for my blush, I used my Fenty bubble bands. I just love that. To me, that looks like bubble gum, and I like it. I like it a lot. And I used the Golden Goddess, and this is just a bronzer palette, and I might have got too much right there. That could be some of that because it is kind of dark. I might have hit it hard there. And then on my lips, I used the Mood Matcher matte lip liner, and the color is pink, and you can tell that it is pink. And I'm gonna redo my lips because it's kind of wore off since I've done my look. I've been wearing this all day, so it stayed with me all day as far as the overall look. And then I use my Maracuja Juicy Lip Cream by Tarte. And this is one that I got out of Allure. And I like this pinky rosy color. So I used it. And then I did use the lip plumper, Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. So I used that. And so that was my lippy that I used today. And then I did spritz my face with Estée Lauder setting spray. And then I used my Mario for that little glow. And I tell you, I think it does a great job. So I may have to try some other products from Mario. This is the only one I have, but I've been very, very pleased with it. So I think that is everything that I have to show you guys for this look. So we're going to move on. Let me know what you think about this creme brulee Tarte look. So it's Tarte Cosmetics, and they call it the Tartlet. So, and it's a little Christmas package, and you can get this for gifts. So go back and look at my QVC Tarte package opening that I did maybe a couple weeks. I'll try to toss that into this video so you can go back and look, because it'll make a great gift. You can have it as one big gift or two separate gifts. But anyways, that's the look I got. That's all I have for this one, and you let me know what you think. And now on to the next look. Hello and welcome to my next look. This is a very natural look. I went with an Icon palette. It was the iconic London eyeshadow palette, and I don't remember if it has a name or not. Soft and smoky. It's very soft, and I don't think of it as being smoky because the darkest color is what's on my crease. But anyways, I still want to show it to you. Before I do that, I want to tell you my hair today. I used all Olaplex. Well, I used Living Proof shampoo, which was a detox shampoo. And then I used the Olaplex No. 5 conditioner that I got. And I had Olaplex heat protectant and volumizing spray. And what else did I have? I guess that's what I used. But on the very tips of my hair, I always use my shea oil. So I just put a little shea, and I just rubbed it only on the ends so that they don't get, all split up too much. And actually, I think it did really good for my hair. It's the first time I've used Living Proof and Olaplex together. First time I've used really either one of those. And I had been using my She infrared shampoo and conditioner, but I decided today I would try that shampoo, and it dried out well, it blew out well, and I like it. So that's what I did. I want to tell you that. And in case you're wondering if it looks any different, I don't know if it does or not. But anyways, I did use the Iconic shadows, and it says it's smoky, and perhaps it is, but it's really light colors. I got the marshmallow, which is over here. I put that all over my lids. I put this color brown on my lid, and I shadowed that goldy color there as well on my lid. So I kind of got a combination of all three of those on my lid. And then I used that darker color called Toasted. That's in my crease. Now, I thought, okay, let's get a little color. It's a little warm in here today. I'm going to pull my hair back. I did go all the way out with the white up and around and over. And I'm trying to let y'all see, if in a relaxed mode, that I have hooded eyes. And I don't have a dark color in there for my hooded eyes. I'm trying not to lift them. So what I did was I used an Estee Lauder Burgundy pencil to line my eyes from the outward up halfway on both sides. And I thought today, right now, what I'm going to do, since I haven't done it yet, I'm going to lift the eyes like I tell you that I do to get an eye lift. And what I do is I take that and I line out just a little bit. Sometimes I'll come out even more for a cat eye. But I line that out. Now this side over here seems more stronger. So I'll go over here. I got to be careful because of my hooded eyes. I'll pull in more than I expect or go out more than I expect, like on this one. So one's kind of going more up, and that happens to me every time. But I try not to let it bother me too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fill that in. But it's also going to help lift my eyes. Now I brought an eyeshadow palette in. This is from the spring, I want to say 2022, that I misplaced this and then I found it. And I don't have my one brush that I always use for like painting in. So I brought a couple of other ones to help me out here. But I just want to show you, I am going to use that darker color that's almost like this burgundy. And the burgundy was the liner that I used. So it is a burgundy color. And you can tell, like I said, that I didn't get both of those lines straight. So I just want to show you how you can still work with it, even though we're not perfect. And I am going to have to look in my mirror here. So let me grab that over here, and you can watch how I do this. But I usually just put this in there inside the corner of that line so that I am creating, I guess, a little bit of a cat eye, but I'm lifting that up, and you can already see that it's lifting my eye. And when I went to church today, I didn't do that. Because I wanted to go with a real simple look. And I think I accomplished that, but that there already raises my eye up a little bit. And I'm going to bring it up in over. So I'm lifting that up over like a shadow blend over that. And then I'll go over and I'll do the other side. And I use that line for a, I guess, for a base. Now you can tell looking at that immediately that it's way too far out. That my line, I went over it for one thing. I just can't work this eye the same as the other. But I don't let that scare me or keep me from my goal. Now I'm going to try to bring that in a little bit by bringing this color down into the liner to kind of create an illusion, which I don't think it's worked. I'm going to have to come over here and add some color. So, but you can tell one thing for sure, by adding that color of shadow, a darker color, I have instantly lifted my eyes from looking hooded. So let me just hold them without expression and see, you can tell they look lifted and not hooded, which is the way they started out. And I wish I could get that more pointed look like I have on this side, but I've already messed up this side that I can't do that. So I'm going to try to, but just at a glance, you can tell that this color of, I want to say, what they call it, burgundy, with this soft palette went really good. And now I have more of a smoky look, of a more real smoky look. But you can definitely tell I am uneven in my shadow there because of my point of putting my liner up. So it's hard for me, like I said, to get it even on both sides. This side is more lifted, this side is not as lifted, more rounded over. But I'm just going to tell you, you can still go with it. I think so anyways. And that's what I'm going to go with because I've already done it. And I just wanted to show you how you can create that illusion of not having a hooded eye. And it's, for some reason, you got to use a darker shade to do that. And I never realized I was doing that all the time. But once I realized it, then I started incorporating it into my look. And if I could, fix this, I would. I just don't think that I can fix this out because I've already done it and the colors there. And one thing about Estee Lauder colors, they stay put. And that's one of the reasons I like them. I don't have to worry about them wearing off too much. This look will look just as good in the morning if I happen to sleep in it as it does right now. All right, now let's go on to what I used in addition to the liner. I did use my $1 Billion BBB brow pencil, and this is universal and it's on both sides. And I really like this. It's my favorite. I didn't bring it in here. Oh yeah, I did. I used the Iconic. I used my cream color inside my eyes, not that dark color, the cream color here and here to brighten up the eyes and on my waterline as I do usually. And I used the Iconic London mascara. And it performs good. It goes on good. And it gives you good coverage, and it does lift and lengthen them. I don't know if it lifts and lengthens them as good as some of the others that I use, but it definitely works. And so I went with that today since I used the Iconic palette today. And then what I used for my blush is I went with the Sundress Season, and this is a peachy color that I have on my cheeks. And I used that on there. I really like that. And then I got out an Estee Lauder. I've had this forever, but it's a bronzer palette. And I used it for my bronzing, for my contouring. And it's just a simple color. I don't even know if it tells me what color it is. It says in medium. So I used a medium bronzer. And I've got that under my blush, under my chin, through here, and of course up here and down my nose. So I use those two. And oh, before I forget, when I use my makeup Estee Lauder foundation, I use the Stay in Place. Oh, what's that called? Double Wear. It stays in place. After I put that on, I put on the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer, and then I put on my powder. And this is Skin Food. I'm going to show it to you because it's starting to run out. I'm going to be out of this. But this powder smells really good, and it works really good. It is now my #1 favorite face powder. And I've got so many other powders, I probably won't buy it, but I am going to hang on to this little jar so I'll remember it. And when I do have to buy some, if ever, I'm going to buy this, or if I see it in a box or something, I'll be sure to grab it. Okay, the next thing I did was I worked on my lips. And guys, this is a lip pencil that I got out of the Ice Cream Beauty box. And it is a beautiful color. I don't think I'll be able to use it much longer because I can't, it gets to the point where you can't sharpen it. There's not enough to hang on to. But I want y'all to know, Lori Latterman knows the brand because I could never read it. It's just, I just could never read it. But anyways, it's an indie brand. This liner glides on as well as my Estée Lauder sticks, the Natasha Denona, and my Charlotte Tilbury liners. And those are some expensive liners, and this is right up there with them, but I doubt they cost the same amount of money. So anyways, I wish I could tell y'all the brand. I would have to go back and look at a very old video maybe to find it. But anyways, this liner works great. And then I've been loving this liquid lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. I think I got it in a lip kit. It is very pretty. And it's moist, and it stays moist for a while. Like if I don't put anything else on, my lips will feel like I have moisturized lipstick on. It's amazing. Most of the liquid lipsticks I've used, they dry, and they dry, I don't know, they dry. And you got color on there, but your lips are not moist. I love this because I get that moist out of it. And then I put on Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumper. And it's almost the exact same color, but it just plumps them up a little bit. It has a little bit of a minty kind of feel to it. And I forgot to tell you guys, I did spray my face with Estee Lauder setting spray. And then I put on Ofra, and this is the Rodeo Drive highlighter. So that's the highlighter that I have on. And I think by spraying that on, it gives you that glow look, because I have a nice little glow going on here, and that's what I used. So I wanted to show you that. I usually have been using Mario, which I will say that has become my favorite highlighter. So I do get favorites that are not Estee Lauder necessarily, and out of that field. And even the Fenty blushes, I have 3 of them now, and they're my favorites in the blushes. They are just work really good. You don't have to worry about overdo. I like Charlotte Tilbury blushes, but you got to be careful. They're highly pigmented, and you could get a lot of bang, more than you want, out of it. But anyway, this is my finished look, and with me, messing with my eyes and kind of messing up with it a little bit. But, from afar, if you're just glancing at me, you're not going to be able to notice that I've got a big boo-boo mistake. And only if I point it out to you, which I did, because I want you to know, number one, I'm not perfect. I'm not a beauty queen. I'm not a professional makeup artist either. This is just years of what I've done and come across, and I just wanted to share that extra tip with you. And of course, the inner eye, I encourage everyone to get a light white or cream eye pencil to accentuate your eyes and bring them out even more, and it just lightens them up too. But I guess that's all I have for this look, so y'all let me know what you think. And you'd have to go back to the beginning of this to see my eyes beforehand. But I think, or if I make a snapshot, I might drop it down on there. I don't know how to do all that stuff, guys. I'm not that good at editing. I know some people are, but I'm not. I barely get by. But I want to thank y'all for being with me. I'm really pleased with the Olaplex number 5 conditioner and the Living Proof Detox shampoo. I think it did really great for my hair. And I really like my look today, and I like it now that my eyes don't look hooded. That's probably why I do my eyes all the time with a dark color in the corners, because I know I get a lift out of it. And if you can make yourself look younger by just doing some simple little tricks, then go for it, girl. But anyways, that's it. Now on to the next look. Okay guys, we're on to the next look, and this time I did something way different that I've never done before, and I used, I guess they're duochromes that I got out of Ice Cream Beauty, and it's purple and blue is what is on my lid, and it's probably shifting colors. But that's what I went with because I want to show y'all something different. Yeah, I can do something different. And guys, I mean, I really did something different. I put on my regular foundation and I put on my Estee Lauder concealer. But then I got my black, that's right, from Beauty Creations. Dare to Be, what is that? Bright, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a color-based primer. And guys, this is black. It is black as it can be. So after I put on my nice little white-looking, creamy color concealer, I put on this black. I want y'all to know this is really, really black. I am not kidding. Look at that. I'll just put some here, just a little bit here. And you can see it right there on my skin. And yeah, it's black. So I put that black, yes I did, on my lid. And that's the background, and that's how they said to use this. So I did that, and then I got out this pretty little blue color. Now this is a beautiful color. It's called Ocean Breeze, and I guess it's by Mermaid. Maybe Mermaid Cosmetics, I'm not sure. But you unscrew this lid and look at that color. So I dabbed that on my black eyelids, and the black, of course, went up and hit my inner corner, or what do you call my crease, because I do have hooded eyes. So I just had to blend all that in. And that's that pretty blue. I put it all over, and I kept reapplying it and patting it down and blending it. And that was my blue. And then I thought, hey, well, while we're being bold, let's get out the purple. And this here is a Chantico Cosmetic, Chantico Beauty, and it's called Twilight. And it looks a little purple to me, so let me unscrew the lid. And I put that on. Yeah, I did. Right in the middle and then over to the outer edges. And you can kind of tell that. So yeah, I did do that. So totally different from what I normally do. And I'm thinking, hey, it's a Halloween time. It's time to do things different. So I am doing things different. I've got someone coming down my driveway and I don't know who it is. Dogs might start barking. But anyways, I do want to tell y'all that I found my Estee Lauder Double Wear Smooth and Blur Primer. My favorite primer, but I think they've quit making it. So I'm not going to have this anymore. So this is going to be the last of it, but it does a good job. I also put on the Skin Food, which is the powder that I put on all over. I probably could use a little dust of this right now. It seems like I got more shine going on than I need. But anyway, the eyeliner that I used was the Estee Lauder cream, and that's the only one I used. I used it in my eye water. I used it on top, so I've got it all the way over on both sides to lighten, brighten the whole eye since I went dark. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. This is the cream color, and you can tell it kind of hits some of that darker color shadow, but it'll rub off, no big deal. So that was my eyes. I did use my Prime Lash mascara, and this is the volumizer. I used it as a base, and I put that on because I wanted to get the nutrients of it. But the main color that I went with is this here, the Voluminous Original. And so I did this, and it looks like I might have company coming in. Carly, I'm recording right this minute. So give me about 5 minutes. I used the Voluminous Original, and this is in the Cobalt Blue, I believe. So yeah, I used that. And then I went back and I found my Lollipoppy. And this is my Fenty Beauty blush. And that's a bright pinkish peach. And that's what I use for my blush today. I also, oh, before I forget, I did use some Laura Geller to highlight up here. So up there, I use this color right here to highlight on the tops of my eyes. But that's the only place I put it. And I don't think I used any eyebrow pencil today. I forgot. But anyways, I did that. And then when it came to my lips, I used Clinique lip liner. And this here is Quicker for Lips. It says Stylo Design. Oh, that's in another language. This here is Velvet Rose is the color. It's a very nice color. And I like it. And I actually used a MAC lipstick, number 16 Vibely. And this is the color, and it's kind of a pinky color. It's more pink on the screen than it is on my lips. So I used that, and then I put on Dermalect. And this is a lip plumper. And it says volumizer. And all it does is just feel like peppermints on there. It's not like some huge plumper. I really don't think it plumps up that much. But it does have that pepperminty scent or feel to it, so it does do that. And then before I put everything up or was going through stuff, I came across a Clinique lipstick, and it's Plum Pop number 14, and it's a very pretty color, and it actually matches this liner really good. So I wished I would have found that first, but I wanted to show it to you because I did, find it, and I will try to put those two together at some point. But anyways, I might put some of this on top. And I don't even know if it made a difference. But I do that a lot of times. I'll double up on lipsticks. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I do. So I'll use one as a base and then go over it with a different color. I do that a lot. But anyways, that's my look today. Let me know what you think about this look with these blues and purples. And I guess it's the shifty duochromes. But anyways, that's this look. And now let's go on to the next look. And we're on to the next makeup look. And guys, this is a little bit different. I did go back and use my Prime Skin CC cream, and that is my foundation that I have on today. And I haven't used it in a while, but it went on good. It's buildable if you need it to be a little bit darker. I did get mine in tan, and that's the color I usually get. It's Bio Ferment Serum, Vitamin E, and Avocado Oil Complex, Soft Matte, pH Balance, Buildable Coverage. And it's food for your skin, because Prime Skin Cosmetics, or Prime Prometics, everything they do is designed for women over 40. And their products are excellent, and I've used several today. And I wanted to show them to you because if you haven't tried them, you may want to, especially for those that are over 40. And I've gone with a soft look again, and I used this on my face, and I also used it, for just used it all over, even my eyes, kind of like as a primer. And so then I used my BBB, and this is my highlighter that's up by my eyebrow and a little bit on the inside eye, but not much, because I turned around and used the eyeshadow stick from Prime Lash. And this here is Prime Eyes, and I think it is I call it their cream color. They call it Estrella, and it is a cream. It's very lovely. Let me get over here. You can see it a little better. Maybe on front here. It shows up better there on my darker skin. But that's what's all over my lid on both sides. And it glides on great, and you can go up and down with it, so you don't have to, sharpen it. Now, I did use Charlotte Tilbury, and I've got to sharpen this. I've got to find a fat enough sharpener. But this is her Chameleon Gold, and I have that in the bottom part of my crease. And then on the top part of my crease, I came in with Hourglass. And this is also one called, I don't know what it's called. I guess it's this color right here. Kind of like a bronzy color, and I've got that on top. So like you just glide it on like that. And it's real easy. This is a fast way to get ready to go. And then if you want to blend it in, you can. So I'll show you that color. Compared to the other color, and I guess I'll do it up here on my hand where it's darker, and you can see that there. And then of course this color, just to show you in contrast, looks like that. So it's a lot darker, and I'll put it off to the side here. So those are the three colors that I have on. They glide on. I love it. Then I use the Prime liner. This is the Prime eyeliner, and I got it, this is in navy, and I love this too. And I do have my link down in my description. You can save 15% on your whole order with Miss Jackie Russell. And this is blue, and you can see it's very navy, and they have a mascara that'll match it. But I got blue there. Let's get it over here. I've been walking a lot here, and I'm getting darker again, but it doesn't look so blue on there. But when I get it up there and you look at my eyes, you can tell it's tinted blue. And I gave myself just a little bit of a wing going out, and you can take this up and down. It glides on easily. So just let me show you. See? No sticking, it just glides right on. Very, very lovely. And you do have a smudger on the end if you want to smudge it a little bit. So, I mean, it's got everything you need, and it's designed for women over 40. Now, on my eyelashes, I did use the Prime mascara in black, and this has vitamins. This is the volumizer. They have a regular and a volumizer. This is the volumizer, and you can build on it, so it's buildable color, and it also has nutrients for your lashes when you're over 40. So it's great. I'm 65, and it's really grown my lashes. I've also used the Prime serum, so I've used it in conjunction. The Prime serum runs $42, and you can get a mascara and a serum, I think around 60 something, like in a package deal. I would highly recommend that if you want to grow your lashes. And it works with Prime Lash Mascara beautifully. And like I said, I'm putting nutrients and vitamin on my lashes every time I use this. So I really like it. And then, let's see here. And they have different colors. I've got the mauve in here. They call it mulberry, and I love that color. I didn't put that on. And then on my lips, I've got a Gwen Stefani, and this is her red color. And boy, this glides on, and it worked great with my Prime lipstick. And let me show you that lipstick. This is Raspberry, and I love it. It's 05. Very moisturizing. Again, it's got hyaluronic acid and nutrients in it to keep your face all, I guess, your lips all moisturized. And mine still feel good. And I love the color. It is just a beautiful, beautiful color. So you can get that. And it's also magnetic in its closing. And I do have on blush, and I forgot to bring that in, but I used the Fenty Bubble Band blush, which is that pink color, on my cheeks. And let's see here. One last thing is I did use my Too Faced, because this was a berry color. I decided to use my Too Faced, and this is in, I think, something girl, but let me see. It's in Just a Girl. And I like this. I will tell you, the Too Faced does plump, has good color, but it does leave a sticky feeling, but I don't mind it. I like the plumping. So that's my look today, and I don't know where we're at. This may be the last one, and if it is, then I want to remind you all to use the emoji of a pumpkin and or a cat, and it can be a Halloween pumpkin or a black cat or a cat face in your comments in a sentence down below, and you can be entered into my Jubilee gifting that I do every month. The winners will be announced in November, so the first Monday in November. Not sure when this is coming out, but you do have to like my videos. You do have to comment on all videos of that week, because you don't know which one I'm going to use to pick the winner. And I use the comment picker, and you have to be 18 years or older. You have to have an address in the continental USA, and YouTube and or any of the brands that I've shown, like Prime Lash or Prime Prometics, are not affiliated with the giveaway. So keep that in mind, but be sure and join in the fun, and let me know what was your favorite look of everything that you've seen today. And as usual, I wish you all a blessed and happy day. Bye-bye.